Happy Friday evening, everybody. I didn't think I'd be coming on here live again, but here we are, putting in a 90 million euro bid for Antony. We thought it was going to go in yesterday. It didn't go in yesterday. We thought it was going to go in today. We were asking where it was. Well, here it is. Mike Vavai just confirmed that not only a 90 million euro bid has gone in from Manchester United to Ajax for Antony, they have rejected that bid. So I'm here. I'm gonna run through all the news from how it developed this morning through this afternoon, and we're gonna have a discussion about it here in the comments. I'm gonna tell you what, at this point in time, I'm not really sure what the next steps are. I've got to be completely honest, because Ajax are steadfast in the fact that they do not want to let Antony go at this moment in time. You can let me know what you think about this in the comments. I'll be really interested if you're an Ajax fan. I want to hear from your point of view. Let me get through the news first, and I'll head down to the comments, and I'll try and answer as many as I possibly can. Let's go. Right. Earlier on today, we heard that there was going to be another planned meeting between between Huntelaar and Hamstra, who, of course, are the new technical director, and Klaas-Jan Huntelaar is involved in that department as well, replacing Mark Overmars. It was a meeting between them, Antony, his agents and his lawyers, and his brother. The outcome of the meeting remained the same. Ajax do not want to sell Antony, while the player wants to join Manchester United. Fabrizio Romano weighed in on the situation. He said this: Ajax are making it really difficult, but Manchester United are still determined to sign him. Ajax insist they've no intention to negotiate, but Antony's more than disappointed and will continue to push. And it's something I've said for, I suppose, about the last week or so. Antony really has been doing everything he possibly can to force this move. It's not down to him. This is all in Ajax's hands at this moment in time. And then we come to the big breaking news this evening from Mike Vavai from Telegraph, of course, saying this: that Manchester United place an offer of 90 million euros for Antony on Friday afternoon. And then we get the news here from Fabrizio that bid has been rejected. This is what he said. Man United's new bid has been rejected by Ajax. 90 million euros is considered not enough. That's why Antony is disappointed with Ajax, because he only wants to join Man United. He doesn't want to stay at Ajax anymore. The bid has been submitted and it's already been turned down, and that's being confirmed by other sources as well. What's your reaction to this? Right? When the price came away, first of all, for Antony, the 80 million price, so many of us stood back and said, I mean, that's way too much. And that is too much. And it's true. And then you look at the context of what's going on in this current summer window, and I'm going to keep pointing to it, but Gordon for 60 mil, and the idea of it, Fofana, 75 mil, 80 million for Antony euros, would have been about, what's that, 68 million pounds? There or thereabouts. It wasn't completely outrageous. It was a bit overpriced, certainly. But 80 million, I think we all could have swallowed. We put that bid in last week, I think it was. It might be the week before now. That was rejected straight away. And at that point, Antony flipped it. Not flipped out, but he made it clear to Ajax that he wanted to leave. God hates you. Join as a member. Let me know where you're watching from, buddy. I'll try and give you a shout out throughout the stream. But not only have they rejected that bid, they've now rejected a bid in excess of that at 90 million euros. And a bit more information on that here. It's this, right? Ajax, in my opinion, do want to sell Antony. They just don't want to pay Chelsea the 44 million euros that they want to replace him. And I found this quite fascinating. Did a little bit of research into Ajax's turnover. Now, if Ajax were to get 100 million for Antony, that would be more than the entire annual turnover that Ajax got in the 2017-18 accounts, and nearly the majority of their turnover from their 2020-21 accounts, which are the last full year of accounts. They had their whole turnover for the entire club for a year was 125 million euros. And you're really telling me that they're going to turn down a 90 million bid for Antony because they want more? No, it's not that. It's not that. And this absolutely is the crux of the situation here. This isn't really to do, in my opinion, this isn't really to do with how much, at this point, Ajax can get for Antony. I mean, I can't say that with utter confidence. It's part of it. But it's the fact, and as said by Mike Vavage here, not being able to get Hakim Ziyech is playing a huge role in not wanting to sell Antony to Manchester United. Another alternative for Ziyech is Justin Kluivert and Anwar El Ghazi. But this is it. In my opinion, this is everything. This is why we're stuck at this particular moment in time. Because Manchester United have gone in with the 80 and Ajax played hardball in the exact same way they played hardball with Martinez. I can't exactly say I'm surprised. But I'll tell you what, it's symptomatic of a club which is struggling behind the scenes. In a summer where they've lost Ten Hag and Overmars, and they brought in Jerry Hamstra, I think it was Heerenveen, he was a technical director there for 5 years, and then they brought in Klaas-Jan Huntelaar. They don't have that infrastructure behind the scenes to really make this deal happen. And this, as more evidence of that situation, is exactly the point. Separate reports here that Van der Sar has actually stepped in to help negotiate with this deal. And we scroll down and read the news here coming out of Holland. Ajax chief executive Edwin van der Sar is rarely involved in transfers, but has stepped in to negotiate the Antony deal with Manchester United due to his relationship with the club. Man United have recently ramped up their efforts to sign Antony, but have had multiple offers turned down. So Van der Sar is getting involved, and Van der Sar is taking it upon himself to sort of get involved in this negotiation process. But what do you think the outcome is going to be at this point here now? Because you've got a player in Antony here who is full-on rebellion. He's absolutely rebelling at Ajax. He wants to leave. He's refused to train. He's put in an official transfer request. He's now turned up in training. He's been left out of 2 matchday squads, I think. He's going to get left out of the squad again this weekend. I don't know what Ajax hope to achieve, I suppose. WST, you're saying you're an Ajax fan down here. You're saying, look, they let him go for 120 million. Honestly, Ajax fans down here, I'm sure there's quite a few more of you in the comments. What do you honestly feel at this point in time? Obviously, you don't want to lose Antony, but I think you can sort of step back and say at this point, right, I mean, it's obvious that he wants to leave. There's a comment there from Joe saying, look, hey, and I'm an Ajax fan here. Antony submitted the transfer request. He doesn't want to play for Ajax and he wants to come over to United. Yeah, that's become quite obvious in the way that Antony has been acting. Matt, you're saying here, 90 million rejected by Ajax have truly messed up with Antony, and it's not fair to let him go. I wouldn't talk about fair and unfair here, because he's on a contract. Daniel, let me know where you're watching from, buddy. Lovely to have you on board. He's under contract, so it's not about being fair or unfair. The thing that Ajax, in my opinion, have struggled with here, and this is probably the biggest evidence I've got of that. It feels like Ajax this summer have struggled without Overmars and the structures that they had beforehand, because it feels like they set a price tag of 80 on Antony, 50 on Martinez, and I think they underestimated the size and the scale of the market, because when that 50 million bid went in for Martinez, they just rejected it and they moved the goalposts. They didn't get a rebelling player there because United came in quick enough with another bigger bid, and they were able to have time to replace him from, I don't know who they've replaced. Ajax fans, who have you replaced Martinez with? Is that an internal academy product, or have you brought someone in? But Ajax kind of got away with it with the Martinez situation. But because this has come late towards the end of the window, and Antony is really angling for the move, Ajax are suffering. Well, you could say it's karma if you want, but they've been demanding more and more and more for Martinez, and they got what they wanted. They've demanded more and more and more for Antony, and we've actually offered more, and they've still rejected it. And now they've got a player rebelling on their hands, and the only reason they're rejecting it, in my opinion, is because they cannot afford the replacement. That's a lie. They can afford the replacement, but they are not willing to pay that much for that player because it is too much for Ziyech. 44 million euros is too much. But Ajax, man, this is exactly what you've been doing to Manchester United with Martinez and with Antony. And you've now got a player on your hands. Look, maybe Antony, his attitude will completely change once the season starts, and he'll forget all about it. But it's a massive, massive risk. And I said this in the comments in the live stream this morning. I said, do you think, any Ajax fans in the comments, any fans really, do you think this is the peak value of Antony? Or do you think after a good World Cup, his value would rise even more? Because in my opinion, we're looking at a hyper-inflated price of Antony right now. It's not real market value. And I suppose you could say that about a lot of players in the market. But it just feels like Ajax taking a massive risk, man. Jared, let me know where you're watching from. And the fact, as I said, Ajax's turnover last year was 125 million. And this is a 90 million. Maybe it's going to rise to a bit more. I don't know. There's a couple of super chats. Let me read these out here before I miss them. I don't want to miss them. JDM, it smells like Van Gaal from the back. Blocking dudes. Antony, mate, how you doing? Yeah. You having a good Friday? Yeah. One second. Just going to sip on my beer. And I've just got something I just want to say to you. Don't go to United, mate. No, don't do it. Don't do it. I don't think Van Gaal's going to be involved in this one. He was obviously involved in the Timber situation. We got Martinez, so I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. David, you're saying it's worth it if that's the player the manager wants. We're already going to overpay, so we shouldn't get hung up on the number. Sorry, deliver the player. I absolutely believe that that's completely correct. Jared, you're watching from Oklahoma. Wicked. Nice to see you there, buddy. I personally think that it's all about the player, it's rather than the price. I'm not going to cry over the price. It frustrates us all because you can probably look at that, and if we're playing Football Manager, we're like, well, why are you doing that when you can go out and spend 50 million on Gakpo and then have 40 million left over to go and sign a backup right back? And then that's just not how it works. While the logic is there, that's kind of not how it works. Steve, Ajax fan down here. As an Ajax fan, I can tell you 100 is way too much, but it's the market these days. 100 will do the deal for sure. Dude, 80 million would have done the deal. And again, this is a timing situation, right? 80 million would have done the deal 6 weeks ago, thereabouts, 7 weeks ago. 80 million would have been done quite quickly, I think, because he would have had a lot more time to negotiate a replacement and probably get Hakim Ziyech for less than half of the price. Esteve saying, look, I told you our club only makes announcements on the weekend. Casemiro and now this bid. They leave us stewing with the news and then gauge our reaction. I don't think they're that. I don't think they're that clever. Jason, you said you sent a super chat. I never read it out. I don't know where you sent one. There are, I'll be honest, quite a lot of comments flying in here. I'll scroll up a little bit for you, my friend, if you sent one in. No, I've just scrolled up through. Oh, there it is. Sorry, man. There you go. I did get it. See? I don't ignore it. Sam, should we not try and offer them a player or even Ahmed or Pellistri on loan for the season with all the wages paid? Pellistri could be one that could do something on the right wing. Ahmed, I can't imagine. Actually, let's be completely honest, actually. Ahmed was going to be going on loan to Feyenoord for the full season. I mean, it's not an outrageous idea. It really isn't an outrageous idea. But, mate, Ajax are playing such a dangerous game here. Such a dangerous game. With themselves. With a player, as I said, they wanted 80 million. They got 80 million. They rejected 80 million. They moved the goalposts. They got a bid for 90 million. They've rejected 90 million. And now they're going towards 100 million. It doesn't change anything, really, for Ajax. They're still losing Antony. Is 10 million really going to change something in a summer where they've got already this amount of money? I don't personally think so. I think it's far more to do with this. I think it's far more to do with the fact that they cannot find that replacement. And because of that reason, I am hesitant now about the Antony situation. I don't really feel like it's completely and utterly to do with the price tag. It feels far more to do with the fact that they might struggle to replace him at this moment in time, this late in the window. That's the way that's personally what I think. So anyway, there's a couple of super chats. Let me read these out and then I'll move. I said I'm going to try and answer as many of your comments. Talking about the Arnautovic. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't notice when the announcements come out. Maybe they do it on the weekends. I don't know. JDM. Let's give them Harry Maguire as a trade since they could beef up their defence. Nah. Honestly, it's not the worst idea in the world. Ahmad or Pellistri on loan there. If I was going to keep one of them, I would probably keep Pellistri. I think Ahmad massively needs a loan spell, and a more technical division like Eredivisie, where there's a little bit more space on the ball, would probably be a place where I think he could thrive. I'd be very, very happy if Ahmad went there. Michael, as another Ajax fan, I'm really interested to read more of these Ajax fan comments out. He said, as an Ajax fan, I think we don't need the money. The Champions League finish is more important than the money. The The problem is the final transfer day here is also 1 day sooner. I didn't know that. Well, there you go. That kind of takes 24 hours off our hands, and we haven't exactly got much time on our hands. But I don't personally think it's about... It doesn't strike me as money at this point. Because the numbers that they're turning down for Antony are just... It's just mad. It is mad. Everybody knows it's mad. But it's the fact that they cannot find that replacement. They cannot bring someone in, because 44 million for Ziyech is just insane. 44 million for Ziyech is just no... I think he's got 1 year left on his contract. Damon, what are you saying? Hope you see this one. Am I unable to send membership gifts out from using mobile? I'm not sure, buddy. I've no idea. I'll be completely honest. I'm pretty sure you can do it on mobile. But I don't know. I only do it on desktop. See, if somebody else can help Damon out there, I'd really appreciate that in the comments. Bob, what are you saying over here? If Ajax cannot replace Antony, they will lose a lot more money. The Eredivisie only gets 1 Champions League spot. They need to win the title. Champions League money and prize money for the title is 70 million, really? Didn't think you get that much in total. I don't know. But look, this is what's happening as a consequence of that bid being rejected and the mental state of Antony. This was yesterday. Ajax didn't train with the team today and left the complex early. This was today. Antony trained alone again at Ajax's complex. And now Antony will not play against FC Utrecht this Sunday. He also still refuses to train. They really have a player on his hand. Antony, I've never actually... I'm sure you can let me know in the comments. I don't particularly remember seeing any player be as active in his just let me leave, handing in the transfer request, the official transfer request, refusing to turn up for training. Geez, I remember, actually that's a lie, it happens sometimes. Remember when Di Maria just literally refused to turn up for the pre-season tour? Just wasn't on the plane. One absolute dick. But I don't know. I'm sure there are more Ajax fans down here in the comments. I'm really interested to know your standpoint on this one. Because as I repeat, if I go through the news here, Mike Vavage has confirmed that a 90 million euro bid has gone in for Antony, but it has been rejected by Ajax. Fabrizio Romano's confirmed the same, and so has Hamstella. All the main sources coming out of Holland have confirmed it. Ajax are just staying strong. Ruben, you're saying this. I blame United for this current situation. The club should have acted sooner. This is what happens because of a lack of structure in the club. And I'll be honest. If I was to say one thing that's been wrong with Manchester United's summer transfer window, for me, it's timing. Timing, I think, is the main thing when you look at all the deals that we have or haven't done that I feel could have been done better. And it's Antony's situation. It's a perfect example of it. We didn't need it. If on the 26th of August, we all of a sudden reach into our back pocket as a club and we find 90 million euros for Antony, why could that 90 million euros for Antony not have been there on the 26th of July? It has been there. It means the money's always been there, unless somehow in that month that the Glazers have behind the scenes gained investment and sold off part of the club that we don't know about, that hasn't come to public light yet. It means the money was always there. And the money didn't have to be spent after we lost to Brighton, after we lost to Brentford, and the sheer panic came in. In that week building up to the Liverpool game, that's when the panic really set in. Sean, this is a really good point down there. Wesley Fofana doing the exact same thing. Yeah, you're right, he's doing the exact same thing. And Leicester are doing the exact same thing there. Turning down, quite frankly, outrageous bids. Was it 75 million, 80 million they turned down for Fofana? For a player, didn't Fofana miss an entire season with injury as well? I mean, he's a good player, but geez, that's a bit of a risk. But yeah, this is just, I suppose, the modern market. It is. I don't like it. I really don't. It's just the way that football has gone. And yeah, the difference in the Premier League spending compared to everywhere around Europe this summer is downright astounding. The gap is ridiculous. There's a few more questions. I'm going to keep reading a few of these out. Eredivisie Championship and next round Champions League means 75. Not possible without Antony. All right, any Ajax fans or any fans, what do you think? Okay, hypothetical situation. Antony stays at Ajax. would you expect him to sort of put it all to one side, say, right, okay, I didn't get my move away, now I'm purely focused, let's do it, and then he refines his best form? Or do you think this is going to have a ripple effect on Anthony across the course of the season? What would your prediction be? Let me know that in the comments below. I think that'll be an interesting conversation to have. A couple of super chats, I don't want to miss these out. I try not to miss it. I apologise if I ever do miss any, it's just there's too many comments lining. JDM, you're saying there's also an option for us since Ronaldo's acting as a crybaby to play the Champions League. We should consider him for a possible trade to Ajax. I've heard that before. And again, I've heard worse ideas, but I mean, he's on 500 grand a week. He's not going to go to Ajax. And we're not going to pay his wages. We're stuck between a rock and a hard place with Ronaldo. He can't find a club. Ajax is stuck between a rock and a hard place with Anthony. He wants to leave the club and they can't find a replacement that they're happy to spend the money on. Skyfox saying that watching live while at work in Chino, California. How you doing, buddy? This is ridiculous saying we match them and they still refuse. I'll be honest, I think it really is that case. I think it's odd. It's just down there. Yeah, look, ripple effect. It'll be a tsunami, is it? This is the ripple effect. This is the consequence of this summer transfer market. The numbers start getting crazier and crazier, and clubs have the strength. Ajax have the strength to go, no, you know what? Sod that, because I know you're going to come back with more. And that's what Ajax are doing. They're playing a dangerous game. Malps, you're saying, look, and United should walk, but we probably won't. We'll end up paying over 100 million euros. All right. Let me see what you're saying about Anthony and what you think his mental attitude will be. Storm, you're saying, look, found both clubs. Ajax are asking more than we will ever get again. Issue is Ajax already sold a bunch, and PSV vinyl both strengthened. No replacement is also an issue. Of course, it's a consequence of leaving it late. As I said, if we had done this 6-7 weeks ago, 80 million would have got accepted, no problem. Anthony would already be playing for Manchester United probably. Matt, you think that he's going to be upset for the season? Spardy is saying that I'd hope he would knuckle down, but if not, we wouldn't go back next year for him. Ronaldo, you're saying that I hope that Ajax respect his wishes. Quite a few of you coming in here, but what do you think's next, right? So it's Friday night. This bid's gone in. 90 million euros being rejected. What do you think our next conversation is going to be on the next live stream when the next bit of news breaks? Do you think it's going to be Manchester United going back in with a 100 million euro bid? Do you think it's Manchester United stepping away and starting to look at Cody Gakpo? We can have a conversation about Memphis Depay if you want to. I mean, you could throw Marco Asensio into that conversation. Do you think we'll look elsewhere? Or do you think it's more likely that Man United come back in with a 100 million euro bid? I'll be interested to know what the main point of view is down there. There's a comment there from Damon who sent a super chat. Let me hear, buddy. Saying, have you heard us contact about Memphis Depay? Well, they just mentioned it there. Getting him on a free this window. It depends if they, I think Barcelona, I think they're going to terminate his contract. Also, cheers, Jason. Just Googled it. You can only send them on desktop. Okay, thank you, Jason, for helping him with that one. As Jeanette says there, it's a domino effect, the ripple effect, whatever effect you want to call it. This is the product of going late in the market, because the market has all happened behind you, and you're now dealing with the consequences of what has happened previously. It's why doing stuff early, it might feel expensive at the time, but it just helps you as a club. It helps every fibre of the club, everything. Let me go down here and see what you think about what's next. Peter, you think we're going to go in with 100 million? Osimhen, I mean, that's not going to happen. So you see some mad stories coming out of the Italian press, like, what is it, 120 million euros and covering all of Ronaldo's wages. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Biswa, you think 100 million. Count, you're saying the same thing. United going back in with 95. Ajax would agree 95. We'll offer 100. So, majority of you down here in the comments, you feel the Manchester United will go back in with a bit of a bigger bid. The Man United won't walk away for Anthony. They will go in stronger, and at that point, the Ajax would accept. Esteve, you're saying, as much as we want him, putting that price tag on his shoulders will surely put a weight on his shoulders, similar to Maguire. Of course, that is something that you cannot gauge in football. It's something that you cannot predict in football. It's something that you just can't understand until it happens. I wouldn't say the price tag was ever the biggest weight on Maguire's shoulders. I think it was the captaincy. That's the thing that I think Solskjaer did massively wrong with him. But that's a different conversation altogether. You never know, because some players thrive under that pressure. They like the environment, and if Some players are built like that. Some players are mentally built differently, and they can cope with that sort of extra added pressure. Darwin Núñez shining on his debut for Liverpool before headbutting someone. Maybe the pressure got to him. Idio Mansa, let me know where you're watching from, dude. Tony, you think it's going to be Gakpo? And Charles, you're saying rather get Gakpo due to the price. What I would say about Gakpo here, people, Antony and Gakpo are two very, very different wingers. Antony operates on the right-hand side, that flair Brazilian player. That's kind of what you would expect a flair Brazilian player to look like. Deft footwork, light touch, great dribbling, moving, cutting inside, shooting, dangerous, real game changer. Gakpo is somebody who does have a bit of directness about him, but he can play with his back to goal, helping, like, bring in overlapping fullbacks. He's somebody who, my point here is they're very, very different players. So Antony and Gakpo's not really a replacement for Gakpo. It's a pivot. In the same way that, you know, when we couldn't sign De Jong, as a football club, we did a huge pivot and we went to sign Casemiro. Not a replacement for De Jong, a very different type of midfielder, but a great signing nonetheless. Cody Gakpo seems a little bit more raw than Antony. Could work out, could be great. Absolutely could be. But a different type of player, a complete pivot. And he'll play on the left-hand side rather than the right-hand side. And this is Man United, right? This is Man United. We're here putting in what would be, is that a club record signing? It would be 90 million? I think it would be. Or thereabouts. Or do we end up paying more for Pogba when he came back? Paid 80 million for Maguire. That probably is the club record. Unless I'm forgetting about someone. Sod knows. But Ajax, they really don't want to negotiate. Mike Vavage, Fabrizio Romano both confirmed that they've put that bid in. That bid's been rejected. And I don't really know what happens next. By the way, it's Friday, everyone. I'm drinking a Modelo. Anyone know Modelo? That's a good beer. Let me know what you're drinking. I'll answer as many of your questions here. We'll go for the next 5-10 minutes. Any concerns, any other players you think we should be looking at, you can let me know. I'll try and interact as much as I possibly can. But the main takeaway I'm taking from this is this bit of news here. The fact that Edwin van der Sar is coming into the negotiations, I really feel that's a sign that, I mean, van der Sar knows, as the CEO, as the man in charge of that balance sheet, well, making it work anyway, he knows full well that Ajax, as a football club, can't reject a bid of that scale for a player, given that their turnover annually is like 125 million euros. So they have to make it work. They have to make it work. Now, Ronan, I would disagree with this comment here. I wouldn't say it's scummy. I think the word I would use is immature, ill-advised, learning. Ajax, in my opinion, it seems that they're suffering. They're suffering from Overmars leaving and Ten Hag leaving, and Van der Sar being there, and Huntelaar and Hamstra learning in what is the biggest summer. I mean, Ajax fans, you can let me know down below. Ajax's previously, their biggest summer was the year after the Champions League when De Ligt left and De Jong left. A huge summer for them. That was 2 players leaving. And I think they might have had a couple more. Not their manager, their assistant manager, one of their main centre back, their main right back, their main left back, their main midfielder, their main striker. So that's 7 huge departures, and then you've got Antony on top of that. It's a tough thing for any of them to. It's a tough thing for any well-oiled machine to deal with, let alone an Ajax technical department, which is its first summer. That's what I mean. I wouldn't use the word scummy in describing how Ajax are acting. It just feels like they're kind of making it up on the spot. Like they don't really know how they're not. It feels like they've underestimated the size of the market when they put the values on them, and then they're retracting it and going, shit, no, actually we're wrong here. Let's just add another 10 on. They'll come back in anyway. And then we have come back in, and they're still rejecting it because it's late in the window. And at this point, it's down to timing. As I said, this happened earlier, would have been done and dusted. Absolutely dusted. Sky, what are you saying, sir? Sorry, Sam. I know it's going backwards in the thought process, and we're tired of talking about Frankie, but why didn't they put that bid in for him or a bit more to cover what he was owed? I think effectively that's because Frankie de Jong didn't want to leave Barcelona. That was a stronger pull than any of us imagined, really. It might like that. That's kind of the way it's looked, the way it's kind of unfolded. Let me go down here. I'm going to read a few more of your comments. There's so many of you commenting here. It's nice to see. Michael, you're saying that do they think Anthony will play for them again if he doesn't get his move? He will play for them again. He absolutely will. If he's an Ajax player come the 1st, 2nd of September, Anthony will go straight back in that team, and he will play that. You think he's going to sit on the bench whilst Ajax play Liverpool, Rangers, and Napoli? I think it's Napoli in the Champions League. No, it's not. David, Sam, when's your next getaway? Maybe take one this weekend. That's a good point. The last time I decided, no, that's all right. I'll take 4 days away, and then the day after, it was like Casemiro, boom. 300 million signings, boom. Anthony bid, boom. Everything just seemed to explode. So what I'll do, just for Man United, I'll just disappear to a hotel for a couple of days, and then we'll sign everybody. It's simple, right? Let's go down here. Steve, you're saying Ajax are playing smart. Only 6 days left of the window. Half of United to get another forward, so they are pushing United. Steve, they are playing a very, very dangerous and expensive game of chess. You're right, that's part of it. That's definitely, it all sort of feeds into it. Ajax are trying to squeeze an extra 10 million out, but Ajax don't want to pay 44 million for Ziyech. And that is exactly why the boss man's come in. He's realised that this is coming to a crescendo, if you want to call it that. And the crescendo is either going to be Anthony staying at Ajax. I mean, it's not exactly a crescendo, it's how transfers work. A player either stays at the club or leaves the club. But it's the player who does not want to be at Ajax anymore. He's made it abundantly clear. I think the fans would sort of forgive him somewhat if the performances turn up straight away. But there will be like, I imagine, I don't know what Ajax fans are like. I imagine there'll be some boos for him when he returns into that team. It's weird. As I said, it's childish and scummy. They're not the words I would use to describe it. It just strikes me as ill-advised. It strikes me as that the technical department doesn't have a grasp of Ajax's summer transfer activity. And when the numbers are so crazy, it's just not something they can afford to just blindly reject. And honestly, man, and Chelsea are doing the exact same thing. Chelsea are making a part and parcel of this, as sort of say, ripple effect. James Alcott coined the phrase, and it's true. This is a pure ripple effect. This is just the market, one transfer affecting another transfer affecting another transfer. Wesley Fofana's doing the exact same thing with Leicester and Chelsea. He's trying to force a move to Chelsea, and Leicester is sitting there going, nah, never mind. I'm not doing it. But it's a bit wild, really. I wish that it wasn't the case. I wish that Manchester United could just go in and do more Casemiro deals. How nice was that? That was a breeze. That was Man United going in saying, how much do you want? Good. Player comes. Simple as that. But that only really happens when a player A wants to leave, when the club B wants to sell him and see the club that's buying him. When all three things align, it was like when we signed Van der Beek from Ajax. That was swift. Boom, boom, boom. This situation, Man United want to sign him. Anthony wants to move, but Ajax don't want to sell. And Sue, that's the best comment we've had this evening. No matter what happens, I can't stop smiling about Casemiro. Guy, in less than 12 hours' time, or way less than 12 hours' time. Actually, no, not less than 12 hours' time. I've had half a beer. Anyway, tomorrow at 12:30, we get to see Casemiro lining up for Manchester United in defensive midfield. If that doesn't put a big smile on your face, I don't know what is. Pap, you're saying that same maximum for 40 to 50 mil. Are you off your rocker? With everything that's gone on this summer and the project that Newcastle is building, they're not selling for anything. Huge pressure on Anthony if we get him for 100 mil. It's the same pressure. It might not be the same pressure, but realistically, it kind of is the same pressure as 80 and 90 and 100. They're all just substantial, huge transfer fees. They really, really are. You are a drunk? I've only had that. I mean, Modelo's nice, but it's not that. I've only had a beer. Oh, mate, I'm not drunk. I mean, you know if I'm drunk. I've done enough drunk max reactions on here. You know exactly when I'm drunk. A few of you in the comments down here talking about Martial being injured. I'm a bit nonplussed to the Martial situation. I've been here before. I've read this story. I've got excited about Martial again, and I've been disappointed at the end of it. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Renault, you're saying that Ajax's transfer activity has been good so far. We sold a lot of players. We also signed replacements fast. We already made a lot of profit this window. We don't need to sell Antony this window. No, you don't need to sell Antony this window. I'm not saying you do. But there's a reason why Bin van der Sar is involved in this deal now. This has been taken out of the hands of Jerry Hamstra and Klaas-Jan Huntelaar because the numbers are too big. There are certain situations where it just can't be ignored. I can't just be like, oh yeah, we've done well this time. We don't need to. This could be the most you're ever going to get for Antony. I personally think it is. Unless Antony has an absolute scorcher of a World Cup, which, you know, could happen. It could happen. Sar, you're saying, look, I think Ajax is playing a smart game, but it's a dangerous one. If United and Antony can't manage to make this deal fall through at the end of the transfer window, Ajax have no time to get a replacement. Well, the time is now. We know exactly who they tried to get for a replacement. We know exactly what's happening is they can't get Ziyech. Any Ajax fans in the comments, or any fans in general, who could be, they mentioned Justin Kluivert there and Anwar El Ghazi. Are there any other potential alternatives for Antony you think that Ajax could go after? I think genuinely a good comment down here was about Ahmad going on loan there. I think that's a good idea. Genuinely, a really good idea. I think it would suit Manchester United. It would suit Ahmad. It would suit Ajax. He's a left-footed, tricky winger who cuts in from the right. Yeah, he's nowhere near the level of Antony. But you've signed, what's his name? Conceição? The 18-year-old from Benfica, I think it was. Porto? Anyway, he's from Portugal. They've already signed him. And bringing Ahmad in is a couple of exciting youngsters that, you know, could do quite well. Damon, are you live at any point tomorrow? If so, I have a surprise plan for all of you in the chat. If not, we'll wait till Monday. Damon, you're getting us excited. No, buddy, I won't be live tomorrow. I'll be live on Monday. So make sure you save that surprise for Monday. Ajax are a top club. I like Ajax, man. I've always had a soft spot for Ajax. I love Amsterdam. Legitimately, Amsterdam and Barcelona, probably my top two European cities. You can't have a bad time there. You really can't have a bad time there. But don't exactly like what's... As I said, I think the bad thing that they've done here with this Antony situation is the moving of the goalpost, man. That's the thing they've got wrong. That's the thing that they've miscalculated. And yeah, Antony may well turn it all on its head, release a statement after saying, look, I wanted to move away, but I'm staying at Ajax now. I'll give my all for the club. I still love it here. And he goes on and he nails it. But it's a risk. It's a risk. Zico, what you're saying down there, you're saying, look, the World Cup is a big factor in forcing Antony to perform this season and potentially increasing his price massively. And that's something, yeah, if you take a step back, you think from a selfish point of view, Antony can't really afford to be a sulky little child because he's got the World Cup coming up. If he wants to be part of that World Cup team, he's going to have to put in a shift. So, yeah, you're right there. That's a fair point. Renault, you're saying that, honestly, I'll say it one more time. It's really interesting here that there's quite a few Ajax fans in the comments. And this is why I like the community. This is why I love the community that we built here. We've had genuine conversation here. Quite a few Ajax fans coming in. No one's shouting at each other. No one's just trolling each other. Genuine conversations. So thank you very much to all the Ajax fans who have come in and commented, because I know it's not exactly the easiest time for your club. But can you just sell us Antony and stop it? Please. Please. Renault, maybe we're not getting more for Antony after this, but if we become champions again and get to quarterfinals, the Champions League quarterfinals? Really? Quarterfinals the year after you've let your manager go, your assistant manager, you're starting right back, you're starting centre back, you're starting central midfielder, you're starting centre forward, and still gets quarterfinals in a group that's got Liverpool, Napoli, and Rangers. It's a tough ask. It's a tough ask. Man like Lee, how you doing there, man? We have a very strong team and are looking to compete in the Champions League. Antony will be worth more next summer when all big teams bid for him. Okay, well, maybe that's the case. Maybe that is the case. Maybe I'm judging it wrong, and we'll see. But as it stands, Ajax is saying hell no, man. Ajax saying hell no. Chris, you're saying, look, I love Ajax and Amsterdam, mate. Yeah, man, it is. I love Amsterdam. Honestly, has anybody ever gone to... I mean, you have bad times in Amsterdam because you eat too much, or you do too much good stuff. That's different. Amsterdam, you always come back with a different story. I think it was I remember when we played Eindhoven, and that was the game where Luke Shaw broke his leg. And as soon as he left the away end, he walked out, he went straight on the train. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. literally from the stadium, walking down the stairs onto the platform for the training and straight back to Amsterdam. And then sod knows what happened that night. But I had a good night. Let me see what else we're saying down here. Of course, you're saying Champions League, your squad is better than last year. Yeah, but you don't have Erik ten Hag. I think that's a massive thing, surely. Dan, you're saying, look, let's be honest. Even if he has a good season in the Champions League and World Cup, no one's paying near 100 million. Not sure what they're smoking over there. Well, they're probably smoking quite a lot of good stuff over there. Let's be honest, Dan. But I don't know. It personally, it feels like such a massive risk, and I honestly feel that's exactly why Van der Sar stepped in, because I think from quite a lot of points of view, the idea of just rejecting it outright, keeping him, makes sense for the club, but from a financial standpoint, I don't think Van der Sar can sit aside and just let them do their job anymore. Jake, first time I went, I got arrested. That wasn't very fun. Well, you shouldn't have got arrested, mate. Rule number 1. Don't get caught. Everybody knows that. But look, I'll wrap this up here. Sorry, Count. Sorry, but it's true. Schroeder, I'm sure Schroeder will do a great job, but he's not. He's not Erik ten Hag. But I'll wrap this up here. Genuinely, I found that really fascinating. There's so many Ajax fans here in the comments. Big up, and I've had so many DMs from Ajax fans over the last, I don't know, couple of months saying that I've enjoyed the coverage of Erik ten Hag, because you're all keen to see what Ten Hag can do. Well, Ten Hag wants Antony. We want Antony as well, and Antony wants United. Ajax at this moment of time staying steadfast, straight up rejecting 90 million. They've moved the goalpost once. They've now moved the goalpost twice. Does that mean United are going back in with a third one? I imagine we probably will at this point. But let's find out over the course of the weekend. I'll be here tomorrow to watch Casemiro make his debut for United. I'm sure you'll be here too. Make sure you drop a like on the video. Honestly, as I said, thank you very much, everyone, for genuinely a decent conversation there. But Antony, 90 million is not going to get him. Does that mean United go back in with another bid? I suppose we'll find out over the weekend. But look, have a cracking Friday, everyone. I'm going to go and have a few more Modelo Especials. It'd be nice if we came back and we signed Antony. Come on, Ajax, please. Thank you.